Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Entertainment Now podcast. My name is Nick.
I'm Ian.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, like we always have our videos up on YouTube, give us the thumbs up, so hit the subscribe button, all the fun stuff you're supposed to do on YouTube. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcatcher, make sure you go on there and leave us a review. We enjoy reading reviews, I guess. We on our old podcast, of course we were up for how long did we do Life in General? It was like 6 years, 5.5 years,
2007 till 2002 or 2022. I'm sorry. Did I say 2007? 2017 to 2022.
Yeah, it's like, wait, 2007 to 2002. Like,
Yeah.
Ian, your timeline's all fucked up.
Yeah, must be.
So it was like 5.5 years.
Yeah.
Because it was like January of 17 to
Right.
August of 22. So 5.5 years. So over 5.5 years, we had quite a few reviews on the on our podcast. We did get one on the new podcast though. Here, I'll read it because it brings up a very interesting point. So this is from Big Peen 69420. Nice name.
Yeah,
but anyway,
I could dig it.
I bet you do like Big Peen, Ian.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna have peen, you might as well have big peen.
It might as well be. It says love these guys' work in the Vinyl Den and the Life in General and the Life in General podcast. Quality work. Only issue I have is the name, which took me a while to find on here. Other than that, it's a flawless podcast. And yes. I did want to point out the fact that it is a terrible, I don't want to say terrible name because I like the name of the podcast, right. But it's hard to find because it's 2023. There's like 17 gajillion fucking podcasts out there. And there's a bunch of entertainment based podcasts. And there's a ton of them.
Because I was having trouble finding it too. And I found
you're looking for the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I was looking for YouTube, but on the YouTube channel, there was one that was Entertainment Now, but I think it was all one word, maybe. I don't remember. Yeah. It was slightly different. So I don't know.
I think that
I was having trouble finding it on YouTube as well.
Yeah. And so I did make some tweaks. So I did notice that when we first launched the podcast. And because I went on Spotify and I was like, fuck, I can't find the podcast. So I went on the Apple Podcast app, couldn't find it on there either. So what I did was I actually changed because like the way you set up an account for a podcast, you have to put like a name in there. It's like the title of the show and then a name. So the name was the Entertainment Now podcast. So if you looked it up, it actually said the Entertainment Now podcast, and then underneath it repeated itself. So I think that's why I was having a hard time finding it in there. So if you actually go on your podcast app and type in either one of our names, the way I have it set up now, if you do that, it'll pull out the podcast.
Okay.
So, and that's how it should have been set up to begin with. But I guess if you don't really know that, it's kind of hard to find it on there. Because like I said, this is our 9th episode.
I think this will be episode 9, yeah.
Yeah. So it is so we're probably buried further down the feed on a lot of podcast apps right now. They sent me a ranking like end of January, beginning of February, that we were like I don't know what it was, 120th ranked entertainment podcast for the month of January, which was like, okay. It's like
that actually seems like kind of it's not great, but it seems like a high ranking considering how many
podcasts there are out there. I thought it was, like I said, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't really do the podcast to like be rich and famous. Like I do the podcast just because it's fun. I just gives me another avenue to throw my shit against the wall, I guess, if you want to say, just to talk, because you know how much I love to talk, Ian.
Yes, and I'm sure your wife is happy that you're not throwing your shit against the wall outside of the podcast.
Hey, speaking of that, so this is like completely off subject, and
no, not us.
No, not us at all. And people listening to this probably won't even like They'll be like, I don't know. But anyway, so there's a little side conversation here. So if you guys don't know, Ian and I work at a hospital. We work in an emergency department, a big, busy emergency department, and a lot of crazy shit goes on in the emergency department. So yesterday or the day before, someone had discharged a patient and put a hold on the room. Like if you look on the track board, it said hold, and then next to it, it said shit on wall or shit on the
wall. Seriously?
Yes. It's like, oh, okay. So someone was just flinging feces and then a spider monkey in there or something, maybe.
Yeah, we did have that room where that guy drew on everything with one of the markers. Like he drew on the floor and drew on the wall.
He drew everywhere, and actually, they weren't able to get some of it off.
Yeah,
because I think that's like I think it's like 54 or 55 over in East.
Yeah.
So our emergency department is huge. It's got like 5 different wings to it. So over at the East is like where they put like the psych patients. A lot of times,
section of it.
One section of East, but yeah. So that guy was back in that area. Yeah. So, yeah, I was in that room like a couple of weeks back, and I was like, "Oh yeah, look, this is the room he must have been drawing in because there's still writing on the whiteboard on the wall." But
from what I hear, he was quite artistic in a vulgar sort of way.
Yeah, we had a guy, a psych patient. I don't know. I really don't know if he was a psych patient, but he probably should have been. But anyway, he was he was over like in our main area for the emergency department, and he kept opening up the curtain and like flashing himself to the employees, and then like someone got him some yogurt to eat, but he didn't want to use the spoon, so he was like suggestively eating it with his finger with a curtain open. Yeah, it's like there's multiple times, and Ian, you can attest to this, there are multiple times a week where I think to myself, man, I couldn't make this shit up. Like some of the crazy
you and I probably could, but most normal people couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, we've come up with some pretty crazy things in our
I don't know, man. Some of the crazy shit I see in the emergency department, it's definitely up there, man.
Do you remember that one night? It was about probably almost 26 years ago, probably. We were sitting in my car, and we were talking about like the worst types of torture.
Yeah, I do remember that conversation.
Do you remember what your version of the worst type of torture
was? Was mine the one with the you put the shit in someone's mouth or something like that? And like,
yeah, and not just that. That's like just the beginning.
I don't remember all of it. It was something about like putting like one of those masks on where you can't like open your mouth up. What do you remember all the rest of it?
No, I just remember there being a lot of fecal matter. But the thing is, too, I should point out that this was like 1997, 98 maybe. And long before the German filmmakers came up with Human Centipede. And there were elements of what you came up with that could have been.
So what you're saying is somebody stole part of my fucking idea.
Somebody stole at least a concept to a point of for Human Centipede.
I'm filing my lawsuit right now.
Yeah. Well, we didn't record it, thank Christ. Because I wouldn't want to hear any of that again. I never saw Human Centipede. I've seen clips and stuff.
I've heard about it, and that's about it.
Yeah. But
so yes, it's hard to find our podcast to bring it way back around to that. Yes. So it is something. A blessing. It is something I know about. Yeah, it does kind of suck, but I'm not changing the name of the show. So we'll be. But if you just go on there and just search our name, it comes up. Right. And obviously, if you're listening to us, you've already found it. So,
right, yeah. If you're hearing this, it doesn't matter.
I guess you could be. I guess that's not true. You could be watching this on YouTube, but
true. Still, it's still a bit of a moo point.
Moo? It's a moo point.
It's moo
because the cow's opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Friends,
and if you're not, you're probably not watching this podcast. Or listening
So
to
yeah,
something.
go on your podcast app, go on Spotify, Apple, wherever, and leave us a review because I like reviews and it helps the
I do too.
podcast, and share
Yeah.
the show and all the other stuff you're supposed to do. But what else has been going on, Ian?
Uh,
Anything
nothing
entertainment
I can.
wise? I haven't really heard anything lately.
No, I am to the 4 or 5 people who've watched this or listened to this. Our previous episodes. I am
There's more
going to
people than
get.
that that listen to us.
I am going to try and get some Picard and Mandalorian reviews out because
Yeah, Ian was supposed to do that, but Ian's been having technical issues. That's why if you're watching this
yeah,
on YouTube, Ian's like screen is really tiny because he is recording this on his
on a
tablet
tablet instead of my laptop. Yeah.
because his laptop
So,
is a big old turd, apparently.
well, it's not completely a turd. It's definitely in the fart process at this point.
It's not
Um,
working. How about that?
yeah,
Ian spent
parts
like two and
parts
a
of it
half
are
hours
working.
on the phone with tech
Yeah,
support trying to figure his computer out. But
yeah, yeah. It was not pleasant. It still isn't because nothing got resolved, unfortunately. Um, but those will be coming up. So at the time of this recording, and by the time it's out, I think one episode of Mandalorian is out. I watched it; it was really good. Um, the third episode of Picard. So if I can get these done this weekend, the first review for Picard will actually be for the first 3 episodes. And I'm gonna say, wow, with Picard.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I to be honest, man, I haven't had a lot of time to really watch really anything lately.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there's so much shit I need to get caught up on as far as
Right.
like TV wise.
Well, the
Uh,
nice thing is it's all streaming, so you can eventually.
yeah, eventually.
But
But yeah, so I was trying to look like entertainment news stuff to talk about, and it's all just fucking celebrity gossip, like
yeah,
TMZ, like everything just fucking sucks. Even like E News is not really entertainment news; it's all just celebrity gossip.
kind of always has been. I mean, even like back in the day when Entertainment Tonight was on
Yeah,
nightly, we're talking pre-internet. Um, it was for the most part, a lot of it was, I'd say, at least 30% gossip then,
yeah,
maybe even
it's
more.
bad now. Like if you go, yeah, you go on there now, it's nothing but celebrity gossip. There's no
Right.
like actual information about like entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
I
I
guess
don't
that's
know.
just
I
the
don't
world
get
we
it.
live in.
It is. Nobody. Yeah. Nobody cares about anything, and the stuff that people do care about, all they do is bitch about it. I mean,
I guess people must care about celebrity gossip because that's the only thing that's fucking on there.
right. Well, there's nothing to bitch about. You're just kind of watching the shit show.
Yeah, I guess
That
that's true. I guess that's
I guess
true.
you can form an opinion, but
Yeah.
you're pretty much just watching the shit show.
The only like big news I know of is Blink unfortunately had to cancel their South American tour because Travis Barker injured his hand, needed to have surgery, which he just had
Oh no.
surgery done. He had surgery a couple of days ago on one of his fingers.
Mm.
So they had to cancel all that, which that kind of sucks. They're hoping to like reschedule that like South American leg of their tour for 2024. But it was supposed to
Okay.
what like it was supposed to that was supposed to be the big kickoff for their like reunion tour, but so that's all on hold. But I don't think
Does it
they've
affect the
canceled.
U.S. states?
No, they haven't affected anything here in the U.S. yet. Because I think it was only supposed to be like a 2 months that they were going to be, or I think it was like 2 months that they were going to be in South America, South and Central America. But so they had to cancel all that. But no, it hasn't affected anything here in the U.S. yet.
Okay.
I did see pictures of his finger though, man. His finger's all fucked up.
Mm.
It was like if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see it, but it was like his knuckle was like 4 times the size it's supposed to be. It was all like
Mm.
they had to pull it back in the socket, and I don't know I don't know what he did to it, but
I mean, I will affect his drumming, but it's not like he lost his hand or his
no,
arm, Def Leppard
no,
style,
yeah, Rick Allen style,
Rick Allen style.
yeah, nothing like that. But and people were even like, there were people online that were bitching and complaining about it, and they're like, oh, why don't they get like a sit-in drummer for those dates? It's
Not
well,
not for a reunion
exactly.
tour.
That's what my whole point was. It's like, yeah, they're not going to do that for a reunion tour. It's the first
Yeah,
time the three of them have played together in what 12 years, something like that. So
I don't know. You would know better than I would.
it's either
But
10 or it's 11 or 12 years. It was like 2000. I don't know if it's like 2011 or 2012 when Tom was fired from the band. So
fired in quotes.
he was fired. He was
He
fired. He
was
was
fired.
definitely fired.
Mm-hmm.
But
Did he see too many UFOs?
no, I don't know. It was just taking. He was. I think the kind of the official thing is like he was wanting to do his own thing, and really was kind of mailing in his performances with Blink, and like I remember a lot of people at the time that were seeing them play live, and said the shows were fucking terrible. So
Huh.
yeah, it was. I
Well,
think it was time. He wanted to do his own thing, and you know he was way too drunk on stage and couldn't sing, couldn't play, shit like
yeah,
that.
yeah. That kind of shit happens with rock bands.
It does, it does. But we do have a topic. We're gonna be talking. So this is the first episode of the month of March.
Mm-hmm.
So the first, we've done this since we started the show back in January. First episode, we always talk about stuff that we're looking forward to, whether it's out in theaters or on streaming. Nothing's really on TV right now, so there's nothing
Right.
really to talk about there. But anything that's like premiering in the month of March that we're looking forward to. And for me, there's definitely two big movies that I'm looking forward to coming out this month. One of them has gotten really shitty reviews.
Uh-oh.
Creed 3, which comes out, it actually comes out today. We're recording on Friday. We're recording on the 3rd, so it comes out today.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this movie for a year now.
Right. Right.
And like, man, some of the reviews, like a lot of the reviews are fucking bad. Like
Oh.
really, really bad. The one, like the worst review I saw or I read said something along the lines of save your money, stay home, watch Creed 1 and Creed 2. Don't even bother.
Huh.
Yeah. And it's nothing like they said the story, like the story is good,
Mm-hmm.
but they really screwed up letting Michael B. Jordan be the director of
Correct.
this movie.
Mm.
He's never been a director before. And they said
Right.
like some of the stuff that he added into the movie, like they said there's like plot points that like don't connect because of the way it was put together. They said there was like a dream sequence, I guess, that was added in that really has nothing to do with the movie. Like I haven't seen it yet, so and I will still see it. I'm still planning
Right.
on seeing it probably this weekend, but
Yeah.
it's just really
I was
unfortunate.
kind of on the fence for going to the theater to see it anyway.
Yeah,
To be honest with you, but now I don't know if I'm. I think I'm off the fence now. The
yeah,
other side of it.
and I
So,
they said the other thing is that they found like there's a one review I was reading about the. So it's really weird that you've got like Rocky is like a 40+ year franchise, right?
yeah, it's coming up on 50, really.
Yeah. And then you've got, he was Rocky Balboa, the character was such a big part of the first two Creed movies. And then you've got Creed 3, which makes one reference for like 5 seconds. It doesn't really explain his absence or anything like that in the movie. It's
At
really
least they
weird.
didn't kill him off.
Even that would have been better off.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know. I like the idea of at least. I mean, granted, this movie sucks and bombs. I mean, they
it's
may
not
not
going to
make any
bomb.
more,
It,
but
it it will still do really well.
right. I hope so. Just even if it's bad, but I hope it does. It does well, just so that they, maybe they can get another sequel in there and fix it. So I think a lot of times, especially with franchises, you've got to take into account that there's going to be weaker films
Yeah,
in a franchise. Um, so when you have a franchise and the film comes out and it's weak, and it destroys the whole franchise. That just kind of irritates me because it's like, well, just
Yeah,
do another one and do it better. Do the next part, but
yeah.
make it better. You know,
But the
Star
thing
Trek
is
Picard
with
is a perfect example of that.
the big thing is like, well, Sylvester Stallone will never be in a Creed movie again. Like
Right.
even if they were there to do anything else, that's he's not in this one because of his fight with the owners of the Creed franchise.
Right.
Sylvester
Well,
Stallone
it's Erwin Winkler and somebody else, I think, but they
yeah
were the producers and owners of Rocky too. Owners,
no
I say.
no so
Yeah,
Sylvester Stallone has all the rights to Rocky.
I thought he didn't because there was an interview where he was
That's the
talking
whole
about.
fight. That's the whole fight over it. He has all the rights to the Rocky franchise. He does not have the rights to Creed, and he wanted the rights to Creed, but
Oh,
they wouldn't make a deal with him.
gotcha.
So that's why he's like, you know what, I'm not doing this third movie. I'm done.
Right. I mean,
Actually, I believe the
I kind of get that, but I think even if he doesn't own the rights, him being in it and him like licensing his Rocky character to the Creed side of it
to
can
us that
only
makes sense.
right, but it can
To him,
only
it doesn't.
it can I know, but I mean it can only benefit because people coming to Creed who've never watched Rocky or maybe
Yeah,
only saw one or two of them
yeah,
might go and say, you know what, I really want to check these out, go back and watch those and say,
yeah,
oh wow, this is where it
yeah,
came from. This is it gives it context, you know.
yeah. Especially since, like,
So
with the first Creed movie, like, I will go to my fucking grave saying that Sylvester Stallone was robbed of a fucking Oscar. Like
oh
he
I
deserved that
yeah.
he deserved that Oscar that year.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
know what's his name from Bridge of Spies won it, which he did a really good job. But I'm sorry, Sylvester Stallone deserved that Oscar. So to be able to be in something to kind of keep your credibility, to keep your
Mm-hmm.
name out there, because without Creed, I mean, he's not doing anything else.
Right.
So I mean, so that's why I said it makes sense to you and I to just kind of roll along with it. Like you got the whole
Mm-hmm.
Rocky franchise. He's going to make an absolute shitload. The Rocky franchise is up on, is it Netflix? It's on one of the big streaming services. I'm sure he's getting a shitload of money off of that.
Right. Well, they're doing anniversary box sets now too in
Yep.
4K, which is weird. You know, it doesn't include Rocky Balboa
It's only the
in
first
it.
four movies.
Right. Yeah.
Five.
I was gonna say no, five's not in there either.
It's only, yeah, you're right. It's only,
Hey,
is it?
first four. Now I look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's just the first four,
I thought it was
which
the
makes
first five because Rocky
let me
Balboa
look.
is the sixth movie.
Right. And Creed is the seventh, in
Yeah.
my opinion. I mean, I wouldn't call it Rocky Five, but it's the seventh movie in a existing franchise.
Yeah.
Let me
But
look.
no,
Let me
I've
look.
always been I love the Rocky franchise. I have since I was a kid. Um, and I would have loved to seen Sylvester Stallone continue on in the Creed movies, but like I get it. If he doesn't want to be in it because they won't make a deal with him, then so be it. But
Right.
at least try to explain why this guy that is so integral to the storyline, you know, Creed, the whole series doesn't happen
Without
without
Rocky. Right.
Rocky.
Right.
And then
Theoretically, it doesn't
to
happen
make
without the
one
first
reference
four
to him
movies.
for like 5 seconds and then have it not really explained in the movie, I think it's a big error. A big error.
Well,
No,
yeah, and not only that, but how does it even work with? I mean, Apollo Creed is is the father, so
yeah,
Apollo, his entire existence story wise is tied up
yeah,
with Rocky himself.
yeah,
So like, how do you differentiate that?
yeah. And the
Real quick,
whole
so the
okay,
4K set is 5 movies, but it's 1 through 4 and the director's cut of 4.
okay,
So it's got the theatrical cut and the ultimate director's cut of 4. But it does not
okay.
have 5 and Balboa.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think is a missed opportunity as well.
yeah, I mean the first four movies are the classic Rocky movies, even though five was also, but like five, a lot of people really hated five, you
Yeah,
know, but
I'm not one of them. I actually thought 5. Don't get me wrong; it's not a perfect film, but it's I like it because it added dimension back to
It
the
did.
character
It did. It
from
added
the
like a
over the top
grittiness.
comic book version of the almost superhero like version of Rocky that was in Rocky
Yes.
4.
Yeah. He in 5 he was human.
Right. It brought him back down
Like
to
I said, it
earth.
added a grittiness to his story, something he really like he started out with in Rocky 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, like you said, it was Superman in a ring is
Right.
basically what it was.
Well, I mean, three there was dimension still because you had
Yeah,
Mickey
Mickey's
dying, and
death and all that
he
stuff. Yeah,
still
but like it was
he
still
did
like
lose that
the
hope.
the fight with Clubber Lang was very obviously Rocky 4 is like a propaganda movie basically.
Right, right.
you know.
It really is. I mean, there's undertones of give peace a chance in it too, but
Yeah, but
ultimately it
still.
is America good, Russia bad.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Well, I mean, what
not much has changed,
it's kind of the
at least
truth, isn't it?
relatively speaking.
Uh yeah, so like I said, I'll definitely go see it still.
Uh,
Just because I'm a big fan.
right.
And I guess
I'll
and I
wait.
will say that like there's been a lot of times I'll go see a movie the critics hate and I absolutely fucking love. So who knows? We'll see it. But
Yep.
yeah, a ton of bad reviews. And when I say a ton, I mean a shit ton of bad reviews for
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah. Most of the review stuff that I get, like on YouTube and stuff, is pretty curated down to Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, DC,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So I
I
haven't
will
seen
say
it.
that like it was so bad. The local Fox 2 news station did a whole like 5-minute segment on how bad it was this morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it can bounce back and then make some money. A
Um
lot of people
speak
worked on it.
yeah, speaking of making money though, have you ever been to Comic-Con before?
No.
You've been like the horror version of
Yeah,
Comic-Con.
I go to Motor City Nightmares periodically.
So there's a big Comic-Con happening here in Michigan this weekend.
Is it Astronomicon with Kevin
Yes.
Smith? Okay.
Yes. And I was like, oh man, that'd be kind of fun to go see Kevin Smith and all the guys from Clerks and Chasing Amy and all that stuff. And then I was like, oh, tickets aren't even bad. Tickets are like $40. I was like, that's not bad. And then
They'll
I was
just
like,
get you in the door.
yeah, and then I was like scrolling through the price. The price for the Kevin Smith like meet and greet event is $200 a person.
Right.
I was like, you're out of your fucking mind. Like, I'm not paying that.
Yeah, it'll be
And
packed.
I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. I'm not paying $200.
No, no. Even when I go to Motor City Nightmares, so I mean, autographs aren't free. You have to pay for them. The
Yeah,
average price is $40. Well, I mean, that's
yeah,
really the minimum price, but that's really what kind of is the standard. But that doesn't
yeah,
mean there's some celebrities who believe that they deserve more or can get more, and they do. Um, Michael Bean from Terminator, he was Kyle Reese and
yeah,
Navy SEALs. He was in Navy SEALs. Uh, he wanted $65. I was like, I won't pay more than 40.
yeah,
I know 40 is the minimum, but I feel that I'd much rather go to the celebrities who are asking $40 because they don't think they can get more
yeah,
anyway. Because probably they're the real people. They're the ones who are a little bit more down to earth and stuff. But
yeah.
yeah, I won't pay more than $40 for an autograph. I just
There
won't.
was the last Comic Con I went to, which was, man, was it 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago. It was in 2021. Mandy and I went to Comic Con here. I don't remember which one it was, but because they have a bunch of Comic Cons here in the Detroit area. But
Right.
we went to one, and I didn't see anyone that was charging that much fucking money. Uh, I didn't see anyone that was charging more than like 60, maybe 60 to $100 for like to have their little like meet and greet session. But there's a couple of guys that was charging that much money, and then they're like behind plexiglass. Like you can't even like stand next to them, to get a picture taken. Yeah, it was really weird. Of course,
I've never seen that at
it was
Motor City
it was
Nightmares.
2021, so it was like a
Oh
little
yeah,
people were a little bit more worried about COVID and stuff like that. I think back then,
right.
but
Yeah.
but it was
Yeah,
kind of cool. Like I took Mandy, we went and saw Joey Fatone there, and I think we paid like I think we stood in line. Like it was free to stay in line and see him, I think. But and then I think we paid like 60 or $70 to do like the little meet and greet. But even like I didn't have to pay that. We were just standing in his booth, and he comes around the booth and he's like standing there talking to everyone, and is like out in the crowd with us. So it's
Right.
kind of cool. You got celebrities, quote unquote celebrities. It's Joey Fatone. So, but
Yeah.
celebrities that I think are a little bit more like giving their time and stuff like that. And like for Kevin Smith, I probably would have paid $100
Yeah.
to do it, not $200 though.
Right.
That's I think at that point you're kind of like fleecing your fans.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, he'll get it. It's not. I don't think he's being unreasonable for most people. Most people will see it and go, "Oh wow, $200."
Yeah. Now I
Um,
would say
and it
like
depends on what
all of
comes with
them.
that too. If it's a meet and greet's a little slightly different too. Because I know Clive Barker did that one year at Motor City, where he had his whole room up like on the second floor,
Yeah.
which had a smaller convention room, and it was strictly set up for a meet and greet. It was all the Hellraiser one crew, gang and crew, and I think it was like $150 maybe, but it was with everybody. So it was with Doug
Yeah.
Bradley, Clive Barker, Ashley Lawrence, I think was there, and I think the only person who really wasn't there was Andrew Robinson, but he was there the
Yeah.
next year. Um, so
So the
yeah,
way that
I could
if
see
it's like
that.
if it's like the other if it's like the last Comic Con I went to, it was literally you stand in line and you walk into this like little tiny like 10 by 10. It's probably not even that 8 by 8 little tent set up. You walk in one side of it, they're standing there in front of like a green screen. You stand there, take a picture, and you walk out the other side.
No, Motor City's set up way different than that. The main area is basically there's tables around the edges.
No,
There's
no,
tables out in this.
that's how Comic Con is. Also, I'm talking
Oh,
about for
okay.
like the extra
Oh yeah,
photo
yeah,
sessions that you pay for.
yeah. No, they like I said, they did it for Clive Barker, um, but I've never been there when they had anything other special other than that.
Yeah,
Because there was one year, I think it was the Chicago like horror convention. Robert England was doing that, and he was charging a lot,
I
but he
bet.
offered, I think, a package where you could have your picture taken with him in makeup. That was expensive, but you had to pay for he had to pay for the makeup and the artist
Yeah,
and everything. Um, but it's Robert England too, so yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I couldn't like maybe if there was like everyone from Clerks and Mallrats and all that all together, maybe for $200, maybe I can see that,
Right,
but
right. That's
not
kind
Kevin
of what I
Smith
was
by
thinking
himself.
too.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I
Well, and
think
everyone
that
else is going to be there, so they're all going to be charging to have their autographs too. You know, anywhere from say 40
well,
to
yeah, 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 but they don't.
$150.
I don't think any of the other ones had. I think Jason Lee had his own like.
Booth.
See, their booths are different than the tables are different than what the like little meet and greet
Right.
area is.
Right.
But I
But
think I think he had his own like photo sessions that were available also. I think I don't remember how I didn't
when
see
I
how much it
looked on
was.
there, it was pretty much all Clerks people, like Clerks or Kevin Smith associated
Well,
people.
yeah,
There
there's
was
I mean there's a lot more than that at that Comic Con though.
everything I looked at. I mean, yeah, there was like maybe two or three other people, but it was
I
all
looked at the list this morning. There was like 40 people on there, like a bunch of
all
wrestlers and a bunch, some other
that's
people
it.
I never
Yeah,
heard
that
of
was
before.
much bigger list
The
than what I
only
saw.
people I was interested in seeing are like the guys from Clerks. That's it.
Right, the View Askew people.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. That's I was thinking about it. I was like, I just can't justify that cost. I mean, maybe it's short sighted of me because I may never have that opportunity again. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Just I don't know. I'm a cheapskate. You know that.
I was trying to pull up the list here. I know Harley was there too, and Harley's
Yeah,
boyfriend is there
boyfriend.
also.
Yeah, yeah. He played the sidekick to Elias in Clerks 3.
Yeah. So here's what you get for that $200 package. You get one pre-autographed item. You get a 8x10 photo. You get the photo op with Kevin Smith only. And then you get access to the Kevin Smith panel.
No.
So for $200
That's
though, it's
yeah. I mean, the panel.
Jason Lee, and Jason Lee's is $60.
Oh, see, I could do that. I could do
Yes.
$60 for Jason Lee
Yeah.
because I'm aware of him for more than just Clerks or
Yes.
Mallrats and the Kevin Smith universe. Um, I mean, hell, he was in uh, uh, Almost Famous, which is one of our favorite movies.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he was in that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I was trying to see who else was. Like, you go on here now, all it does is just list the tickets. But when I pulled it up earlier today, I pulled up the whole list of everyone that was going to be there. Oh, here we go. Kevin Smith, Jason Lee, Jason Mewes, Joey Lauren Adams. So it's all those. Then you got Trish Stratus, who's a female wrestler.
Mm,
Uh, Doug Bradley's going to be there.
no, I've
John
met him.
Lovitz,
So.
Rikishi, who's a wrestler. Bonnie Aarons from Conjuring 2. Some
I don't
other.
remember who she played.
I don't know. She was also in The Nun.
Oh, so she's the nun. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I think she was in one of the Annabelle movies also.
Uh, Maybe, but she plays Vatic or Valak, the nun demon.
You had Twisted, which is a ICP. I'll try to show you on here. They look like an ICP wannabe rap group. If
Yeah,
you
yeah, I'm familiar
see
with
right
them.
there.
Yeah. No, I'm not
Yeah,
familiar with what they sound like, but I'm familiar with
yeah.
them.
You got one of the guys from Guar is going to be there.
Hmm.
Arya Lehman from apparently he was in the very first Friday
Yeah,
the 13th movie.
he's Jason jumping out of the water.
Oh, the water. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
being
Okay.
or young Jason. Yeah, in the
Yes.
dream sequence. Yeah,
With the big swollen head.
yeah, the Mongoloid, as they
Yeah.
called
You
him.
get one of the guys from Killer Clowns from Outer Space is going to be there.
Hmm.
Um. Yeah. And then a bunch of people that I've never heard of before. A bunch of other wrestlers. So we get some writers and artists, some more wrestlers. There's a lot of wrestlers going to be there. Nothing else no one else with it that you would know though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, to be honest with you, they hadn't announced all the guests, but even Motor City Nightmares is a little weak this year. I'm
is
glad
it?
they moved to July because it used to be in April.
Yeah.
But I mean, the only person that's going to be there that I would want to see would be Bruce Campbell. They don't post prices for the guests, though,
Oh, they
unfortunately.
don't. Well,
So
I guess they don't on here either.
uh, Bruce Campbell's, he's kind of not quite to that Robert England level of fame in the horror community, but
Yeah.
he's up there.
He's
So
up there. He's up
he's
there.
going to be. I have a feeling his tickets would be super expensive.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, they as far as like Comic-Con, they don't list any of the prices for their stuff either. Outside of like the VIP photo
right.
sessions, their
Yeah.
photo ops, packages you could buy. But that's about it.
Hmm.
What else were you looking forward to coming out this month?
Scream 6.
That was the other movie I wanted to that I'm really interested in seeing. That
Yeah.
comes out what, the
No, the
27th, I
10th.
think?
No, the
Is it the
10th.
10th?
Yep. Yep. Comes out the 10th, and I am super excited for it.
What's
Because
the
I have
premise
a
of this one, do you
feeling.
know?
Well, it continues on from part 5. So it's a lot of um the survivors from the fifth one. You saw the fifth one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Gail and Kirby are the only returning legacy characters. But Kirby is even like she's only partially legacy because she's from part 4. Um, but Dewey, obviously, spoiler alert, Dewey is no longer with us.
Yeah.
And Nev Campbell, they did not offer her enough money. There's a lot of
Oh,
theories going around
I
about
thought she
that.
was going to be in it.
No, she's not in it. And she came out and said that
You know, because she's
if
so busy with everything else that she's doing.
this was her point, that she's been the main character for this now 5 films, and if she was a male actor, they would have the offer that they gave her for part 6 wouldn't it would have been insulting to a male actor in her position.
in
That
her
was her point.
in her position.
In her
Like
position
I
as someone,
understand she's been in
the
all the
the
other movies, but
the
she's not
value
like.
of her character is what she said. We don't know what the offer
And
is.
I'm sure the movie makers were like, huh, we can do without you. Like,
Well, that remains to be seen. This will be the first Scream movie that she's not in, so
yeah.
we'll see. I think they set
To be
up enough
completely
stuff.
honest, she wasn't really. They really didn't need her in the last one.
True, true. Yeah, I wouldn't say they
She
didn't need her.
wasn't. She wasn't huge to the storyline.
She was huge to the third act, but the
Yeah,
rest of the movie she was unnecessary. Well, she was, because she wasn't really in it anyway.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
they could have they could have done the last the end of that movie without her. They could just. I mean, it would have been different, but they could have done it without her.
they could have, yeah.
And that was kind of the whole point I was gonna make is like, you're not like some. She's not like some huge actress that's
Right.
pulling in like 20 and $30 million roles right now.
Yeah.
What else is she
But
doing?
I don't
Nothing.
know. Well, she really probably doesn't have to do anything. Um,
Yeah.
but that being said, I have a feeling that the reason, and this isn't my theory, this theory's been bandied about uh, by others, but I have the suspicion that the reason they were lowballing her on this role for the 6th one is because she only was going to be a cameo anyway to set up part 7.
Probably.
Because the people who are doing this have hinted at a trilogy, which would be 5, 6, and 7 for them.
Yeah.
That they have a
I would
rough
say
idea.
they'd very, very strongly have hinted at it.
Yeah,
Like,
and so my guess
little
is
doubt.
that the
Unless it's
reason the
like absolutely
studio,
bombs.
right, which it won't.
It won't.
It's like Creed. It'll make money because the nice thing about Scream is they're back down to like medium horror movie budgets again.
Yeah.
They spent a fortune on Scream 2 and 3, and they
Because
probably
they
even
pay
spent,
all of them.
yeah, well, because Scream 1 made so much money too, they needed
Yeah.
to rush them out. I think Scream 4 had the next highest budget at like 40 million, but
Yeah.
Scream 5 was a $20 million movie, and
Yeah.
it made 115 million in the
Yeah.
theaters.
And
And
that's because because there was a bunch of, and because they're doing it right. They're continuing the story, but they're shifting focus from the older characters to this newer set of characters, which you don't have to pay as much.
true. Jenna Ortega's in there now though,
That's
so
true.
if she survives Scream 6, they're gonna have to pay her some money to get her
But
back to
even if
Scream
they have to
7.
pay her more money, the rest of the cast is
Right,
relatively cheap as far as like Hollywood budgets go.
right, right. So that's very helpful, and I to me that's the way most movies should be anyway. Um, I don't understand why half of that shit is so expensive.
Yeah.
I get when you have to have like half of the movie, more than half of the movie is visual effects, but even that, it's like they have the equipment. All they're paying is the time and the
Yeah.
space to house the hard drives, and the person who does the animating. Why does a big budget movie, why does that require $100 million? It
Well, I'm going
doesn't.
to tell you, and here's my thing, and this is like, because I think this is also parallels what happens in sports. Because the same thing happens in sports. People are like, why are these athletes making, you know, 25, $30 million a year? And
Mhm.
that's because a movie makes so much fucking money. You're talking about a movie, if it makes, 100 million, $200 million. If I'm acting in that movie, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm the reason it's making that money. I'm the one doing the acting job. Why am
Right,
I not getting a piece of that?
right.
Right.
Well, I mean that's why you do back end deals.
A lot of
But
movies don't do that anymore though, because
but the thing is
you don't know what the fuck
people
back end's even going to be anymore.
right. People see like, ooh, the movie made $300 million. and they think that's a lot. That is a lot of money. But if the movie cost 120 just to make it, that's just to make it. That doesn't include the interest that's on the loan, because the studios don't just have that money sitting out. They take
Yeah.
loans to pay for those movies.
Yeah.
That doesn't include the interest on those loans. It doesn't include the secondary costs uh, of marketing. So by the time it's all said and done, $150 million movie that's budgeted at $150 million probably cost closer to 250 million when all is said and done. So now that 300
I will
million is,
say that advertising has gotten a lot cheaper.
no, you would be surprised. The budgets on advertising these days are huge.
Yeah, I mean, but like you could advertise for cheaper nowadays, though,
You
with the
could, but
way
they don't.
with the way. Yeah, but here's like, but they don't advertise like they used to, though. You know, a lot of times before there was a lot of like print advertising and things like that, which is really expensive. Which don't that's not even really a thing
No, that's
anymore.
not a thing.
They advertise now on the internet and on social media is where a bulk of your advertising is.
But
That and commercials.
what an actor gets paid to be in the movie doesn't count. What they have to pay the actors to go out on the circuit though too, to
Yeah,
promote the movie.
yeah,
So it's, I mean, it's part of the contract. They have to do it,
yeah.
but they still get paid more for it. So you know all that cost. You're right. The advertising is different now than it used to be. But from what I've seen and read, some of these advertising budgets are huge.
Yeah.
60-70 million dollar
I
advertising
I
budgets.
also it's also one of those things where I don't always believe what they say. I mean, because
Well, a lot
there's
of this
not
stuff
there. I
it's
mean,
all public knowledge
there's no
because,
liability to me saying, oh yeah, I made this movie and I had to pay
right.
$70 million for advertising when it really only cost me 40.
Well, the big studios, they have to announce all their finances because they're publicly traded stock.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But
I mean,
like
it would be
saying one
easy to look
thing,
into it. Is my point.
yeah. But how many people really do?
All right. Well,
You know,
some,
yeah.
but anyway, Scream 6. Super excited. I liked 5 a lot. It wasn't my favorite of the Scream movies. I'm
I
in
had some
that
big issues
camp.
with 5.
Yeah, there's some issues, but I still think 5 is better than 2, and I know that's almost blasphemy because most people would think 2 is the best sequel.
Yeah.
Um, but
I
I
really
like
like the I
4.
really like the acting in I really like the acting in 5.
Yeah, no,
Like
yeah, it was
I
fantastic.
thought some of the plot points were really fucking dumb in 5
Eh,
though.
it wasn't so much the plot points; it was the fact that it was almost Force Awakens. It was almost too much like the first movie. That was the problem I had with it.
Yeah.
But that was intentional. But it's still, so was Force Awakens, and I didn't like that either.
Yeah.
But um,
And I would have to go back. I would have to go back and watch the movie again because I don't remember all of it off the top of my head. But I remember having like at least 4 or 5 things that I was like, when we left the movie theater, I was like, well, that's just dumb because no one would fucking do that in real life. Like, there's
right.
no way. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Some,
you're
yeah,
even if you went back to the original, there's things in that where it's like it's probably more realistic, but than 5, but still like, I don't know. I don't know
yeah.
if that would really happen. But um, as far as acting goes, I think it is the best performance of David Arquette's career.
He did a good job at it.
Yeah,
No, I think
I really
the
think
acting was great. Like
because he wasn't
all the
playing.
kids did a good job in it.
Yeah, Dewey or Arquette wasn't playing the goofy character. He was playing a broken man, and he played it
Yeah,
well and believably.
he did a good job.
So
He did a good job.
so
But yeah,
yeah,
so I'm definitely looking forward to that. That's the 10th. You're right.
yeah, the 10th. Yeah,
There is a new Children of the Corn that's coming out,
yeah.
which it's in theaters today. It's also streaming on Shutter, I believe. Which it's one of those things where obviously I'm not going to go to the theater and see it, but I liked Children of the Corn when I was a kid. I don't really know. I haven't seen it in probably 25 years, so I'm
Well,
not
they
sure how
made
well it stands up.
five
But
five sequels to that.
yeah,
All of them were direct to video
yeah,
in the 90s. I only saw a handful of those that are, I mean, they're super low budget. They're super cheesy. Some of them are okay though.
yeah.
I think I only saw Children of the Corn 2 and 3. Um, I never saw any of the other ones, but
But
they
I'll
they
definitely stream. I mean, when this is available on streaming, I'll watch it.
yeah. I have Shutter, so I might watch it then if it's on Shutter. But I've heard a few negative things about it too.
Yeah.
Uh, I will say that this is not the first remake of the film though. They did a made for TV like mini series remake
Yeah.
of it in 2012, and that was, from what I hear, utter garbage. That was like hot
A lot of
garbage.
those, a lot of those made for TV remakes were, even though I
Yeah,
did like The
The Shining.
Shining. I
Yeah.
thought The Shining was good. I found that on DVD a few years ago. I think it was at Walmart. It was in one of those like four pack
Hmm.
discs, and I was like, oh, I should get that, and then I didn't, and I haven't been able to fucking find it again
Yeah.
because
It's
it's not available anywhere.
no.
You can't watch it anywhere.
For me, I think the mini series Shining was good. It was well put together, but it suffers certain pacing issues, and the kid actor is
Yeah,
terrible. I mean,
yeah.
like the worst kid actor I've ever seen in my life. In my
It
life,
it was. I think I blame a lot of the issues on it just being a TV
right?
miniseries.
Well, it had a TV budget, but it like I said, it had pacing issues. It felt too drawn out. There was no suspense to it because everything was so elongated.
Yeah,
If they had shaved an hour off of that movie and condensed it a bit, bring it down to 3 hours rather than five, it might have
yeah,
actually been really good. But they would have had to replace that fucking kid too. He didn't do much after that. No
yeah.
fucking surprise. He was
I
terrible. I mean,
I
it's
liked it.
painful to watch.
It was a lot more to the book
Right.
than the movie was,
Yeah.
and I felt like the the extra stuff that was in the TV series, the mini series, really should have been in the movie. And I think that,
Right.
and I love the movie, and I think the movie
Right.
is an incredible movie. I think it could have been better had they put more of that stuff from the book into it.
Have you seen Doctor Sleep?
I have not.
You
I heard
should
it was really
watch it.
good though. I heard it was
It's
really good.
fantastic. I mean, obviously, Doctor Sleep, the book, is a sequel to the book The Shining.
Yeah,
When Mike Flanagan took it over and wanted to make the movie, he talked to Stephen King. Obviously, the studio was not going to make a sequel to the miniseries.
yeah,
They're like, oh, well, this will be a sequel to The Shining. So he worked the script a little bit, that to the point where now Stephen King is actually like, okay, I won't shit on the Kubrick film that much anymore,
yeah,
because he worked the film version of Doctor Sleep so well, and worked the ending to play with that sequel,
yeah.
to be play as a sequel to that movie. Uh, I love that movie. It's probably the best sequel to a movie I've seen in a long time.
Really? Yeah, I do need to check it out. March 17th, you get the new Shazam movie coming out, which
That's the other one I
I
might go
forgot that
see.
was even coming out this month. Which
Yeah,
is funny because when the first Shazam movie came out, I didn't see it for a long time because I
I
was
didn't see
like,
it
man, it
till,
looked so fucking dumb. Like it looked cheesy, and there
but
is
it
a
was really
level of
good.
cheesiness to it. But it was really good. I thought it was really good. I'm looking forward to seeing the new one.
Yeah, yeah, I enjoyed the first one a lot, and I'm excited to see the second one.
Yeah, there is another movie coming out on the 17th. I haven't heard a whole lot about it. It's called Boston Strangler, and it's about
Oh, I've heard
the
a little bit about it. Yeah,
yeah. So it's about the reporter that broke the Boston Strangler story. So
right,
it's something I'm not going to go see in the theater, but it's definitely something I'll stream when it's available on streaming.
right.
Trying to think if
Yeah, I
there's
wouldn't go
anything
to see it
else.
there. I wouldn't.
You got
That's not a
John Wick
theater movie.
chapter 4 coming out the 24th,
I've
which
never
I'm
seen any of
not.
the other John Wicks.
I've seen the first John Wick movie. I'm not a fan. I mean,
Uh, that over
I
the
don't
top
know.
martial arts kind of thing.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
Keanu Reeves. I think he does a good job, but it's not my kind of movie. It's not made for me, I
right.
guess.
Right. No, that's what I was going to say. It's probably just not in your wheelhouse. It
Yeah,
is in mine, but for some reason I've just never gotten around to watching any of them.
yeah. And then March 31st, you have a movie that I didn't even know was being made, and then I
Mhm.
saw the preview for it, and like the beginning of the preview, I was like, "Oh, this might not be a bad movie." And then about halfway through the movie, I was like, wow, this is going to be a really shitty movie. I can't believe anyone's actually going to see this piece of shit. And that is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Mhm. Yeah, I forgot
Like
that was coming out.
the beginning of the preview, when they're like assembling their little team or whatever, I was like, oh, this might be kind of interesting. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, it's going to be fucking stupid.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling it's going to be. It's either going to be really good, despite what the trailer shows, or it's going to be really really bad because that's what the trailer
Yeah.
shows. So I don't know. Um, this isn't a movie I don't think that's going to have much of a middle ground.
Yeah.
This is either
It's going to
going
be one or
to
the
kick
other.
ass or it's gonna be
Yeah.
hot garbage. So
I believe I believe this is Bruce Willis's final movie. Also, at least the one that's slated to come out is Assassin. Comes out
yeah, he
the
filmed it. He filmed it I think 2 years ago though.
yeah, that also comes out on the 31st. You know, I'll see it. I'll watch it when it's available on streaming.
Right. Yeah.
You also got Murder Mystery 2 coming out on the 31st. Another movie that I'll wait till it's available on streaming. I I think it's got a great
Is-
cast. I'm sure.
that's Netflix, so that's a Netflix exclusive.
No, it's in theaters. I mean, it's gonna be
Oh,
on
is it?
Netflix also. But yeah,
Because I think the
let's,
first one was a Netflix exclusive.
was it?
I think so.
Let's get Adam Sandler's in it, Jennifer Aniston's in it. It's got, like I said,
Yeah,
it's got a great cast. So I'll definitely see that. I'll watch it on streaming. But as far as like movies in theaters go,
that's about it.
that's about it. There's a couple of big ones coming out this month. There's a bunch of stuff that's going to be available on streaming though.
Right.
Is there anything streaming wise you're looking forward to before I go into my list here,
No,
Ian?
I'm very much into because right now my focus is Mandalorian and Picard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as
Uh,
far as streaming goes.
yeah. The House Party, the new House Party of the remake, which I think hit theaters in January, is now, as of today, available on HBO Max. So definitely watch it. I didn't know LeBron James was involved in that.
Yeah,
He produced it, I guess.
I liked House Party a lot. I remember renting that a lot when it came out, and I actually relatively enjoyed House Party 2, but that was the last House Party movie I saw, and I don't need to see anymore.
Yeah.
That movie's not made for me. I'm too old for it.
I'll still watch it. Chris Rock's new comedy special is going to be on Netflix tomorrow, March 4th.
Okay, I'll be watching that
So I'll definitely check that out. Um, oh, Boston Strangler is going to be available on Hulu March
this
17th.
weekend. Oh, March 17th.
March 17th.
Well, that's cool. I'll watch it then for sure because I
So
do want to see
so it's
that.
going to be on Hulu the same day it's in theaters.
Oh, well, I'll watch it on Hulu then. So,
Children of the Corn is going to be on Shutter March 21st.
oh, okay, that's fine. I wouldn't have watched it this weekend anyway.
Yeah.
So,
And you're right. Murder Mystery 2 is going to be on Netflix also March 31st. So the same day it's in theaters, it'll be
yeah.
available
So
on
they're
streaming.
sticking with this same day release thing, huh?
Yeah, I guess it's the way they're going to roll with it.
I
You've
guess.
also got the new season of Ted Lasso is going to be available on Apple TV Plus, which I don't have Apple TV
I
Plus.
don't. I don't
I
either.
should get it. They're running a promo deal where, because I've got Apple Music, and what else we have? We have so they're doing a deal. I also pay for extra iCloud storage just because we the whole family uses it. So we pay
Right.
like, I think it's $3 a month for like 200 gig worth of iCloud storage. So they've raised the price of Apple Music. I think it's $16 a month now for the family plan. So I'm paying like $20 a month already as it is, but they're running a promo deal where I can get the $200 gig iCloud storage. I get the Apple Music family plan. I also get Apple TV and Apple Arcade, which is a bunch of free video games you can play for like $22 a month.
Huh.
So I was like, well, fuck, I might just do that.
Right.
Because there is a couple, there's not a whole lot on Apple TV I want to watch. I'd like to watch Ted Lasso, though. I've heard a whole bunch of stuff about it.
I've heard good things about it, but I'm not getting Apple TV until they have a lot more to offer.
Yeah, yeah. The
I
of
already
course,
spent a fortune on streaming services.
Yeah, and Mandalorian started this month too, right?
Started at the time of this recording. It's been out for 2 days. First episode.
Okay, so that's in March, so we can talk about that in the for streaming this month.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna do like I said, I'm gonna try and get some review episodes out. So
Apparently, there's a new version of True Lies
it's a television show.
on on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. We'll see. I'll check out the
Yeah,
first episode.
the new season of Survivor, which
Yeah,
I fucking hate reality TV, but
yeah, me too.
like
You know me.
there's very little, like off the top of my head, I can't tell you any reality TV show that I actually like to watch. The only like quote unquote reality TV I like is game shows.
Yeah, and I was gonna
That's
say
it.
they're British quiz shows with celebrities. I like because they're funny as hell. Uh, that's about it.
Oh
Yeah,
man, we're
and
missing a
really, there's
huge
only
one.
like 3 or 4 of them. What's the huge one?
We're missing a huge something huge is coming out this month. Something that we've been looking forward to for like 25 years, Ian. Comes out March 6th. It's gonna be on Hulu. History of the World Part 2.
Oh yeah, I did. Did forget about that. You're right. More than that, we were. Yeah. Well, obviously the movie's 40 years in the making, but
Yeah. Well,
the first time I
History of the
saw it,
World
yeah, it
Part
was
1
probably
came
about
out in
20.
81, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was 81.
So yeah, yeah, I've been looking forward to that since I saw it the first time I saw it, which was like you said, 20, maybe even closer to 30 years now.
Yeah. So
Actually, it was 30 years because I'm be 45. Jesus Christ.
damn, damn, you're
Oh,
halfway to fucking 90.
I know. I was joking, and I put this out to the listeners. Uh, I'm officially going to be middle aged in 4 days from this time of recording.
Yep.
But I don't really know what to do for a midlife crisis because I don't like cars.
Yeah.
Um, I prostitutes were suggested, but I don't like herpes, so I don't want to do
You
that. I
can
won't.
you can do you can do prostitutes safely.
I won't pay for it. I'm cheap. Um, I'm way too overweight and bald to get a young girlfriend.
That's
Wait,
not necessarily true.
I'm too poor to get a young girlfriend too.
Okay, all
Uh,
right.
to be honest
That
with
might be
you,
true.
all three of those things apply to any age girlfriend. To be completely honest with you, so I can't do that. So I really need to figure out some type of
Something
midlife
for a
crisis.
midlife crisis.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been kind of giving it some thought. I haven't come up with anything
I
yet.
guess
So
I've got a year to figure out what I want to do for my midlife crisis.
yeah. Well, we can probably learn from mine. We'll see how mine goes.
This month on March 12th, you have the 95th Academy Awards are going to be happening.
Yeah.
So I'm sure at some point we'll probably talk about some of that. Even though I don't think I've seen really anything that's up for anything this year. So unless somebody smacks somebody on stage, we might not we might not have a whole lot to talk about.
Right.
Which I don't see that happening again.
No. No, there's usually like something like that happens like once every 5 to 10 years.
I
But
don't really
definitely
know
not
about
year
that.
back to back. Well, there's always something. Like I don't know. It's
Yeah.
not always the same award show either.
Yeah.
Because you had the Grammys with Guns N' Roses, and they were cursing and all drunk on stage.
Yeah, that was
That was
great.
that was a big deal. And then
I think they were banned from the Grammys for that.
right, they probably were, But then you got like wardrobe malfunctions and all kinds of all that little shit that people get up in arms and
Well, people always look for something to
war,
get up in arms about.
yeah,
I was at work a
war
couple of
about
days ago and somebody said something to me. I don't even remember what they were talking about. And they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't want you to take offense to that." And I was like, "Oh no, no. Was that? Did I just have a stroke, or did all my lights just in my house just flicker?"
I didn't notice.
So yeah, I was like, "Oh no, trust me. Like, I can't be offended. There's nothing you can say to me that is going to offend me."
Right.
But
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. There might be one or two things I don't know. I've never found it.
So, like I said, a whole bunch of great stuff coming out this month. Movie wise, there's gonna be some stuff on streaming. I think it's gonna be a good month. I think we're slowly starting to get up to speed as far as great releases. The beginning of the year is always kind of slow. You always have a big boom at the end of the year as far as like movie releases. Even though I don't think there was a whole lot end of last year. I don't think there was really anything big that came out late last year. I guess the Avatar came out late last year, right? That was like the big release.
Well, it was December.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, see, that's the end of the year.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that yet either.
Yeah, neither have I. But
it'll be on Disney Plus here sooner or later.
In probably 5 years, because James Cameron is going to keep that thing in the theaters forever.
When it starts filtering out on physical media, it'll be on Disney Plus. Disney Plus is not going to sit on that movie. That movie made too much money, and they put too much money into it. I don't care what James Cameron says.
Yeah, they did.
He's going to have to,
deal with it.
He's going to have to follow along. But yeah, you're right. He'll put it in theaters like 6 or 7 more times.
Yeah. But any questions or comments, you can email us at entnowpod@gmail.com. Give us the old thumbs up on YouTube. Drop a comment down below. All the stuff you're supposed to do on there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And go on your favorite podcatcher, whether it's Spotify or Apple or wherever you're getting your podcast from. Go on there and leave us a nice 5-star review or 4-star review because Ian's in the show. But
well, if you're good for going by that standard,
it's a little dig on
Ian. Just ignore it altogether. You've already turned it off.
But that's all we got, man. Until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the rain.